Welcome to Sunday Specials. A teacher at the Methodist Girls High School, Yaba, Lagos, Adewale Bakare, who had been remanded at the Nigerian Correctional Centre, Kirikiri, for alleged sexual abuse of a 9-year-old girl since April 19 this year, has now been granted bail. The survivor and her younger sister, who are both alleged to have been serially defiled, are now in custody of the Lagos State Ministry of Youth and Social Development. Kemi Fola-Adeyemo shares more intrigues in this case.
The case of the Adewale girls, which observers say spans more than 3 years now, has many peculiarities. It contains accusations and counter-accusations of defilement and abuse of these underage survivors, leveled against at least 4 school staff and even their father. But one common ground among the several parties involved in the case is that these girls need help urgently.
On March 18, 2019, an NGO, Chechiyara Foundation, requested the urgent intervention of the Lagos Ministry of Youth and Social Development on the welfare of the older Adewale sibling. She was said to be, quote, unusually looking dull and had marks all over her body. When asked, she informed the bystander that her father usually beats her and that her mother doesn't live with them, end quote. On March the 25th, 2019, their father, a professor of law at the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, filed a report at the Lagos Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Team, alleging that a driver, Matthew Abiodun, as well as 2 class teachers and a nursery coordinator, molested his younger daughter, then 4 years old. The state government, upon a police investigation, prosecuted only the driver, and in February 2022, Mr. Abiodun was convicted for the offense of defilement and sentenced to life. On July the 3rd, 2019, the University of Lagos Women's Society Nursery and Primary School, Akoka, where the girls attended at the time, also wrote to the same agency, the DSVA, asking that it investigates a statement purportedly made by the younger Adewale daughter that she and her sister bathed with their father. Nothing appeared to have been heard about this allegation until June the 1st, 2020, when the father made a report to the Nigeria Police Lagos Command that his 2 girls had again been defiled, this time by another class teacher and a school cleaner. The school then wrote a series of petitions against Professor Adewale, accusing him of repeatedly, quote, sexually and physically molesting his children, as well as manipulating them to lie against its staff and using his petitions to distract investigations into his alleged crimes. Recently, some protesters staged a walk to the police headquarters in Lagos over the detention of another teacher, Adewale Bakare, at the children's new school, Methodist Girls High School in Yaba, whom they say was wrongfully accused by the senior law lecturer. They also called for the swift rescue of the affected girls.
There is a father who is accusing people of defiling the daughter or the daughters, up to the point whereas there are concrete documented evidence of confession by one of the daughters that is the father, a law lecturer, that is priming us to tell this story.
In his response, the police chief, who refused us access to use our cameras, told the protesters to allow the law take its course.
He alleged, listen to me, he alleged some people, and the matter was investigated and charged to court appropriately. The court is sitting on the matter, trying to adjudicate on the matter. You have not even seen the end of the matter. You are protesting. What are you protesting about?
Mr. Bakare was granted bail on May the 19th amidst jubilations from activists and his admirers. While his case continues on July the 19th, TVC News reached out to Professor Adewale, who maintains his claims against the alleged abusers of his children. He also denies the series of accusations leveled against him.
In the first place, I don't live alone with them. Secondly, it is not a crime to live alone with one's daughters. Thirdly, I don't bait with them. They ask them under cross-examination, the survivor in court, and she denied it. And that was what nailed that man that is in Kirikiri now. So it's not new. This advocacy is not new. You know, that it is at home, and it is at home that these things are happening. Under cross-examination, the lawyer to the school asked my girl, tried to dribble her around that lie, that I bait with them. The little girl said, no, she baits with the sister. They say indecent, that is indecent exposure. How can I do a thing like that? Then again, let me logically, how can I sexually assault my daughters, and then because I'm so warped-minded, and then I want to have fun or something, you know, or make a game of the whole thing, and then accuse an outsider of the same that crime that I've committed.
The young girls in question are now in the state government's custody, which their father is challenging.
It doesn't make sense. Now, that child is a principal witness in an ongoing judicial case, criminal case. You sequestered her, you are sequestering her for 9 days. What is your motive? You could hypnotize her, you could poison her.
As the plot thickens, this child rights activist shares more insights on this peculiar case.
We are not saying that offenders should be let free or should be allowed to go scot-free, because then there's no essence of the fight we are fighting as social activists, as child crusaders, as child safety advocates. But what we are saying is this: do not allow an innocent person also suffer for what he has not done. And then let us also remember that weaponizing this crime of defilement will make a mockery of all that we have been fighting, because that means that anybody can spring up and allege another person of, defilement or rape, and then you know what it will cause? The real victims will not now have a reprieve, because people will not take them serious again.
The DSVA has refused to comment on the case, saying it's still under investigation. In the meantime, advocates say actual healing for sexual abuse survivors cannot be complete until when actual offenders are held accountable for their actions. It's also important to protect vulnerable persons in the society. Kemi Fola-Adeyemo, TVC News, Lagos.